Genre of Your Life podcast, a show all about movies, TV, and the genres that define us. Episode number 39. 39. I am one of your hosts, Doug Jones. With me, as always, is my amazing and one of my best friends, my amazing co-host, one of my best friends, and the silent Bob to my J is Mr. Joel Kindlen. How are you today, my good sir?
I'm good. It's been a chill day, just gaming, looking for work and all that stuff, adulting a little
Adulting,
bit.
my guy. Adulting.
Adulting and then dissociating.
I should be a college class. Adulting and associating. A class on life. Professor Joel Kindlen at your service. That would
Don't
be my
even
class.
show up to the class. Lesson 1. Don't expect much.
At your first lesson, don't expect much.
Yeah, don't trust no one. As Dwight from The Office would say, lesson 1,
False.
trust no one.
False.
Beats, Bears, Battlestar Galactica.
Michael. Oh,
Michael.
that's funny. Michael. Oh man. But I am glad to be back with you, my boy. I know the boys wanted to be on tonight. I think Mo's got caught up with the production thing, and Nick's been working mad overtime. He's been working since 3 a.m. to 5 p.m. So he's working really crazy hours. So he was like, "Hey, listen, man, I won't be on the show tonight, but I am tired as shit." I was like, "My guy, take a break, get some rest. Those are some crazy hours. You do you, boo boo," as Joel always tells me.
That's exactly right. You do you, boo
boo. But
been
thank you
saying
all.
that since high school.
Oh man, and it's been something that I stick with to this very day. In college, post-college life, adulting, you do you, boo boo. You do you.
I forgot where I heard that from. I was like, I'm gonna take that. It'll become my thing. Just like Lovely.
Lovely, and you do you, boo boo.
Exactly.
And thank you all for joining this week. Hope you're having a great start to the new year. As always, guys, you can find the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Amazon Music, or your favorite podcast platform of choice. We also have a full audio show on our YouTube page, youtube.com/Midway Avenue Productions. Whether you're on YouTube or Spotify or Apple or Amazon or even Google, hit that review button, leave a follow, leave a subscribe, leave a review, leave a rating, please. The word of mouth. We want to hear from you guys. Are you liking the show? You're not liking the show? It means the world to us hearing your support, hearing from you. So again, good or bad, negative or positive, let us know. We want to hear from you guys. So please review, rate, share us with your friends, share the word of mouth of us with your friends. Again, subscribe, follow, hit that follow. And remember, we have an episode every Friday, and I'll have an audio newsletter from time to time. So look out for that as well. You have one coming tomorrow, actually, from me. My kind of thoughts on the Iron Claw and kind of the upcoming schedule for the show. So look out for that. But yeah, guys, as always, thank you so much for your support. And one thing
and definitely do follow, because if we're not gonna have an episode 1 week or so because of scheduling problems, or someone's sick or anything, like a few people are sick or anything like that, or we just need to take a break because life, we do traveling, we have our own lives and stuff. Definitely, we'll update you guys on our Instagram story or a post or something. And also, we might give you hints of, eventually future things that we will do, maybe when we're gonna all be together and do a video podcast. That'll happen this year. I promise. I will get out to AZ and visit the boys, and we'll all sit in a room and look like Joe Rogan and Tiny Meat Gang TMG type podcasts, but for movies.
We're gonna be official. And I was telling this to Nick too. At our complex, we had this kind of like your dad's old complex in Chicago. It was we had this huge conference room that literally no one uses, and it has the best natural light. So when we start doing video podcasting, when I think Nick moves closer to me down the road, whatever, we're gonna start doing that, obviously. And then when you come to visit, we'll do that too, because we have this kind of studio space, literally has a huge conference table, and literally no one uses that place. And I was like, you know what? Once me and Nick kind of get things going for the video stuff, the video element, we're gonna record there, because like I said, no one uses it. But you're right. Thank you, Joe. Thank you for reminding me. Yes, I need to do better on that too. Well, we'll kind of switch off posting. Hey, no episode this week. Look, kind of cute little graphic. Hey, we'll put on our socials on Instagram and stuff like that. But thank you, Joe. I appreciate you reminding me. And also, too, we talked about this on the show too. Before the show actually is that I was hearing from friends and colleagues as well that Apple Podcasts might not be showing reviews or ratings. I heard from a few different people this week too. So spam that button. Spam that button. You might have to do it twice or more than once. We appreciate if you can, because sometimes with reviews and ratings, it might take a little while to kind of upload or load. But like seriously, if you've been reviewing, if you've been uploading, or if you're reviewing or rating us, we do appreciate it. But I think Apple Podcasts might be having kind of a glitch or a technical issue. I'm trying to figure out more about that. But because on Spotify you can rate, you can't review. But on Apple Podcasts, which is kind of like the leader of like podcasting, unfortunately, everyone has an iPhone nowadays. Or so I hope you do. But there should be a feature to review and rate. So if you're having issues with that, don't worry. We've kind of heard about it too. So hopefully getting that figured out sometime soon.
Yeah, so if you left a bad review, we are not deleting it. We would keep it up.
I can if I wanted to.
He could, but yeah. So he couldn't. I mean, so if you hate us and you're just like fuck these guys, we haven't seen it. So sorry to all the people that left us good reviews. If you left us reviews at all and rated us, thank you guys so much. We're so sorry we haven't been able to see it. We will try to figure out what's going on, try getting into contact. Hopefully, like, next time you leave a review, it will post. And, we will definitely check them out. We do love you guys so much. So thank you if you did leave a review and a rating and we haven't been able to see it.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure that out, man. It's always something nowadays. But no, seriously, guys, thank you. It really means the world to us. I'm trying to think. The past week we didn't have much going on. I put out my Mean Girls out of theater reaction last night, and I kind of like. I mean, I'll review this movie on tonight's episode too. But like, real quick, is that like, I knew it was kind of weird when I went to the screening with Z, and it was kind of empty. I was like, like.
Did I talk about like my thoughts about it on the podcast or no?
I mean,
before it came out.
Yeah, no, no, you texted me. You were like, "This looks like dog shit."
Yeah, because it's like it's just one, we didn't need it. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. We didn't need the like musical movie version. And to me, like I love Mean Girls. Like I have sisters, so I watch a lot of movies like The Notebook or Mean Girls and stuff like that. And as a young guy back then, I secretly liked it. I'm openly liking it now, but but like But yeah, no. When I saw it, I was like, no, this looks absolute shit. I was like, it just doesn't make sense to do a movie. I can understand, Broadway, whatever, but like a movie wise, it's just really stupid. You know what I mean? It's like taking Singing in the Rain and then making it just a regular ass movie. No one's gonna want to watch that shit.
Yeah. No, I mean. Oh, why not? Fuck it, let's get to it. So yeah, I'll do my review of the movie. Why not? Because why not? We brought it up. Yeah. So for some context, I love the original Mean Girls too. It's been like a big part of like movie I watched, growing up, with cousins stuff like that. I mean, 20 years later, which is hard to believe. It's been 20 years since that movie came out. It really holds up super well. Tina Fey is a great writer, honestly. Everyone that from movie, from Lindsay Lohan, Rachel McAdams, Meta Seyfried. I'm blanking on the girl who plays Gretchen. But Tim Meadows, like, list goes on and on. It's Amy Poehler, like the list goes on. I mean, the movie's hilarious. It's a classic. It's a 2000s classic. It's part of our like us growing up. And, and I saw the musical with Zeta about 2 years ago when it came to Phoenix, and I was really surprised by the musical. The music song was really catchy. The production was very great. It wasn't like it was very kind of like the choreography was great. And me and Z were like, "Wow, that was awesome! Like, this was really good." Because when you adapt movies to musicals or movies to shows, it can go either great or completely shit. And both Z and I were like, "Wow, this was a great production, a live production of a great movie." So originally, for some context too, the movie was supposed to be a Paramount Plus release. And we see this a lot with HBO and Paramount Plus, and I'm trying to think, Hulu maybe. When the studio believes in a movie, they'll change it from a streaming to theatrical. unfortunately, in the past year, HBO did that with House Party, which was terrible, if you ask me. I mean, it was awful. As well as Blue Beetle, and Blue Beetle was fine, but obviously it flopped really hard. So most of the time when they do that, it means the studio believes in the movie or not. When they cancel like Batgirl, when Batgirl was hearing horrible test screenings, blah 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 blah, and they cancel the movie whatsoever. So it's a bit of a tricky line to kind of like balance. So when I heard this back in September, I think it was that through work too. They were like, on our weekly newsletter from Paramount, they were like, "Oh, by the way, like Mean Girl is going to theaters," and I was like, "Oh, that's cool," because I feel like there's confidence in that movie from theatrical from streaming to theatrical. But I remember you were like, "Fuck that! I don't want to see that," and I was like, "Well." I was more on the optimistic side because I like the musical a lot. Like seeing it in live production was awesome, but I was still kind of optimistic. And a lot of people were like, "Oh my gosh, Mean Girls the musical and the movie, it's awesome. Let's go get Renee Rapp, who's like, a rising star right now. You got Tina Fey coming back to write and star in it as well. Tim Meadows coming back as the principal. You got John Hamm, got like Busy Phillips. I'm like, okay, cool. It's got a lot of elements to it. However, the thing that kind of like stuck me by surprise was that the people who made this movie were first time directors. And I'm like, whoa. I was like, that's a lot to take on for your first movie. A musical, but B, a remake adaptation of a classic that's beloved by so many. So I was like, all right, that's something, whatever. But like last night too, I knew something was up when the screening was empty. Like how nights when the screening was empty too. And I told Nick, I was like, "Yo, there's no one in the screening." And last night I told Z, I was like, "This is kind of empty." Like we had seats next to us, and I was like, "All right, well, it is what it is, maybe because it's middle of a week, whatever. Like it's Wednesday night." But I was like, it's kind of odd. And I'll tell you what, if you heard my out of theater reaction, I kind of went a little bit of it. This movie's disappointing in a few different ways. And I'll tell you why. What I said was it was stiff. And the whole time, even Z would probably agree with me on this. Z was kind of saying, is it me or is it kind of like something kind of off? A lot of the songs did get cut from the Broadway live production version. Because Z and I were like, wait, there was a few different songs that were missing. And then we went on like, Instagram, TikTok after the movie, and they were saying, the girls were saying, yeah, these scenes were cut, these songs were cut. And I was like, oh, what's going on here? It was very stiff because this movie was trying to do two different things. This movie is adapting the musical, and the musical is adapting the original movie. So this is like adaptation of adaptation of adaptation, kind of like Inception in a way, like of adaptions. And also, it's trying to introduce Mean Girls to Gen Z, to new generation, but Mean Girls is still relevant to this day. So it's trying to do a lot of different things. It's trying to balance a lot. And, if you're going to do that, you got to go full out. It was very half-ass at times. And what people are saying, too, is that, what I noticed, too, is that as the musical element did not work. The musical element did not translate well from stage to screen. I was very vocal about that last night in my out-of-theater reaction. It did not work. And I think that the music and the choreography worked a lot better on stage. And something that I noticed too that kind of threw me off a lot. Listen, I love seeing movies in IMAX. Like I love it. It's my favorite format, whatever, favorite premium format. However, Michael Bay does this a lot too, where like when you don't do a full IMAX, you kind of like do normal aspect ratio in IMAX, and it switches back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It messes with my mind. And Transformers Last Night, Dark Knight, whatever, 5, whatever, the terrible one. I saw that, and dude, I had a fucking headache the entire time. I was like, please pick an aspect ratio and stick with it. I am begging you. This movie does the same thing, but not IMAX. Like, when it's not doing a song, it's kind of like white full screen kind of ratio. And when it's like musical elements, musical part, whatever, it's boom, widescreen. And a lot of the songs, dude, are told via like TikTok. Like kind of like iPhone ratio. And that's really distracting. Like that's super distracting. And like it takes away from the performances and like the creativity, the production, whatever. And what everyone's saying too, which I agree with, is that this looks hella low budget. Like really low budget. And that could have been maybe because it was a streaming movie first. But compared to like the original or some other Paramount movies, it looks really low budget. Like people were saying like this looks like some kind of Shein costume and wardrobe. And I was like, damn. I'm like, that's saying something too. Like, it looked cheap. It looked really cheap. It like my guys from Double Toasted, who I like a lot, they were saying like it feels like a parody almost of Mean Girls. Like it feels like a parody, like someone doing a kind of like a short student film parody of Mean Girls. It looks really low budget. And what bothered me too is that the chemistry between all four plastics did not work. Did not work whatsoever. You don't feel the same way you did with the original girls in the original movie, or even like the live production that we saw. Like when I saw it a few years ago, like it felt like the movie. Like it felt like the naturality, the kind of the natural friendship, the chemistry was there. The chemistry was not there between all four plastics. And I was like, damn, you gotta be on the same level. Like it was all over the place at times. But you know, another thing I said in my out of theater reaction was that you forget it's a musical at times. Like there's times where like there's so much time passes by between songs, you're just like, oh yeah, shit, this is a musical. Or like the songs that will happen out of the most randomest times, which I know a lot of musicals do that, don't get me wrong. But like it comes so out of left field, you're just like, wait, this is a song? Like what the heck? Because in the Broadway show, it was so incorporated, it was so natural, it flowed so well. I was like, okay, here we go. Like this is what I'm talking about. Right on. Not in this way, not in the way inside. It felt very stiff. Editing was all over the place in terms of like song transitions, actual cuts, whatever. And like again, the musical aspect was so random at times. Like people on Twitter are X and Instagram are saying like another thing too is that this movie was not marketed as a musical. Like none of the musical stuff was part of the trailers or marketing. So a lot of people are going in not knowing it's a musical. Like they're going in blind to like, wait, this is a musical? And again, unfortunately, the era of musicals are kind of dying, or a lot of them are going to streaming. Like Dear Evan Hansen did not do well. I like the movie a lot. I heard the production is amazing. I thought the movie was fine, but it got terrible reviews and did not do well whatsoever. Movies like Spirited, Will Ferrell, Ryan Reynolds holiday movie did a huge number, did gangbusters on Apple TV, huge streaming numbers. Tick Tick Boom, one of my favorite movies of 2021. I love Tick Tick Boom. I love Andrew Garfield. I love Lin-Manuel Miranda. Netflix movie. These musicals are going streaming only now, or exclusive streaming, and that sucks. So the era of movie theater musicals are dying. The last two good ones I can think of was Greatest Showman and La La Land, and that's it. The musical aspect does not work on screen at all. And what also kind of bothered me too is that they did not utilize John Hamm or Jenna Fisher at all. Like they're marketed a lot in the trailers. They're barely in it and they have like no impact. It's a waste of their talents. When the movie ended, I was like, yo, John Hamm playing the gym coach, he's like 2 minutes of screen time. Jenna Fisher, great casting between Ngori Rice, I butchered her name, and Jenna Fisher, like great casting for mom and daughter. Jenna Fisher is wasted, like wasted. You're like, come on, man, really? It just doesn't feel. It just feels like out of place. It's really stiff. It doesn't kind of feel like Mean Girls. And I'm like, as someone who loves the original movie, and I really do like the live production Broadway show. Which again, if you can see it, worth the money, worth seeing it in live. But man, it's just like what went wrong. And sometimes I will say though, the big three, I'll probably butcher their names right now. Renee Rapp is great because her voice is beautiful. She's playing Regina George, and has big shoes to fill. But I did think she was great. I mean, she's a natural singer and she has a beautiful voice. Definitely one of my favorite parts of for sure. And I'm gonna butcher her name, but it's the voice of Moana. Luai Carvalho. I probably butchered her name too. Steals the show. She's Janice, and she's phenomenal. Like she really is singing her ass off, and her voice is magnificent. And the actor playing Damien, Jaquel Spivey, I probably butchered his name too. Also great. Like the chemistry between those two actors was phenomenal because they're kind of like the narrations of the musical and this movie as well. Those three standouts. Their acting was great. Their voices were phenomenal. But other than that, I don't have much to say. I thought the chemistry between kind of the plastics did not work, and I don't know. It just felt like a parody almost. And they cut out a lot of stuff from the original movie, like some funny stuff. I'm like, oh really? Like that stuff was in the live production, but why is it not on this movie? Just I don't know. Maybe it should have stayed maybe a streaming movie. it's getting decent reviews from other critics and other other reviewers, but I don't know, man. It was very stiff. It was very stiff, and right now I'm not hearing the best response from audiences. I'm looking forward to seeing how this does opening weekend. But I'm telling you, I think a lot of people are going in not knowing this is a musical. If they said Mean Girls the musical, probably made more sense or market some of the songs. The musical aspect is not marketed at all, and it shows. Um, I told you this today too, Joe, on our voice message. Me and Joe have a joke, right? From movie Brick Mansions, Paul Walker's like kind of one of his last movies. The RZA, Wu-Tang Clan, legend, one of my favorite rap groups of all time. Wu-Tang Clan is a legendary rap group. RZA also acts, directs, produces too. Big movie cinephile like we are. There's a scene in Brick Mansions where he's a Jamaican accent, and Joel goes, "When did he become Jamaican?" And we're laughing. You remember that, Joe?
Okay, so RZA is in the movie. He's playing his character, and you're just like, all right, I know who that is. He's talking normal the whole time. Like, you can hear him thoroughly. He's talking normal. And then at one random point, he started doing a Jamaican accent. It wasn't like one Jamaican word with an accent. It was like the whole scene. He became Jamaican, and we were like, I was like, when literally out loud, I was like, when the fuck did he become Jamaican? Like, what happened? Like, Doug's dying.
I'm cracking up, dude. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, wait, what did he become Jamaican? And we were like, wait, what? And so then in this movie, similar thing. It's a joke that me and Joel have had over the past 10 years, which is hard to believe as well. It's an ongoing joke from us. But last night, too, the girl actress playing Gretchen Wiener, she's like, they're in like Regina George's closet, whatever, and she goes, "Oh yeah, my abuela gave me this," and I said, "Hold up, hold up, hold up, my abuela," like, and I was like, "Wait, what?" And she did it again, and I told Zia, I'm like, "That girl is not Hispanic." I'm like, "Ain't no way, bro." And Zia was like, "You never know." I was like, "No, no, 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 no." I'm like, "Trust me." I'm like, "Ain't no." I mean, she could be, but I was like, it came out of left field where I was like, "Ain't no way, bro. Ain't no way." And like, she's putting like the emphasis on the abuela, like that kind of emphasis on it. And I thought like, this girl is not Hispanic. I mean, she is. I apologize, but like, you can't fool me. I was like, this is a Brick Mansions RZA all over again. I'm like, wait a second. But yeah, man. I mean, I know you had no hope for this movie. I know
Park,
you had.
right? That's her name, Ashley Park.
No. She's a French teacher. She's barely in it too. I like her a lot. She's
Okay.
barely in it. Her name is. Let me see. I have it up here on my IMDb. Wow, the rating going down. Bebe Wood.
Bebe Wood? How the fuck?
Yeah.
Bebe Wood is an American. That's all it says. American.
Yeah. Do you see her picture?
Yeah, I see it. Let me just go to images. There's no fucking way she's Hispanic.
So that's why I have you two.
There's no fucking shot. If she's Hispanic, she's Spaniard. You know what I mean? She's she's from
It came
Spain.
out of nowhere, bro. And I was like, that girl. I'm like, what? I was like,
She
excuse.
was
I was like,
born
huh?
in Kansas City, Missouri. What Hispanic have you ever heard say they're from Kansas?
They probably exist. We probably haven't met them yet.
They
Just
just integrated with the whiteness.
yeah. And I'm like, all right. So yeah, I don't know. I know you. I mean, you kind of saw us coming. I had optimistic, being more hopeful, but just because of like, just because I really did like the live production Broadway show a lot, and I love the songs. And Tina Fey also wrote the Broadway show as well as the screenplay. And there's cute things between her and Tim Meadows for sure, but I don't know, man. It just seemed very stiff. It didn't seem really like it didn't really flow well. I was kind of disappointed. So I'm giving it. I'm torn. I'm like either a 5.5 or a 6 out of 10 because those three actors who I mentioned are really great and they have phenomenal voices. So again, my thing too. If you're a diehard Mean Girls fan and like you have to see this movie, okay, I would say go to a matinee. Don't pay full price. Or if you can wait, again, I hate saying this 2 weeks in a row for a movie. Wait till Paramount Plus. Wait till streaming. But unfortunately, I'm just like I don't know. There's not enough for me to convince you to go see it full price opening night or whatever. But again, if you
Mm.
had to see this movie, you love these actors, you love music, you love musicals, and you love Mean Girls. Okay, go to a matinee or use your A list or Regal Limited or whatever pass you have. But paying full price, I don't recommend, unfortunately. So yeah, I'm gonna give it. I'm torn, man. Get 5.5 or a 6. I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10 just because of the three actors who I mentioned. I thought they were really doing their best. I do think, excuse me, Tina Fey is trying to do a good job as Tim Meadows. So again, if it would be fresh on Rotten Tomatoes, it's a very, very low rating. But my score might change the more I think about it. But I don't know, man. It's just a lot of wasted talent and a lot of just like weird editing. And like I said too, it's doing something kind of strange. It's trying to adapt a musical adaptation of that musical adapting the original movie. So it's a third adaptation within that adaptation, and it's trying to introduce Mean Girls to a new generation, but it feels very kind of half-assed at times. So yeah, man, it's unfortunate. So again, I'm looking forward to seeing what it does box office wise. I might do a kind of audio newsletter on that, but yeah, it's yeah. Even Z was like, "This is my most movie. I'm looking forward to the most 2024." I was like, "Babe, the year just started," and she loved the musical and she loves the original Mean Girls. And she walked out. She was like, "I don't know, man. It was just something wasn't there." And I was like, "Wow." And Z is a good audience too, and she was kind of just like, "Yeah, like this was not for me." And I was like, "Wow." And that's saying something to again, someone who loves the movie the way I do and loves the Broadway version that we saw. Bit of a letdown. So yeah, Mean Girls out this weekend, and it was something too that I heard after seeing this movie, and I was kind of like, I don't want to, this is represent, but it seems like Paramount is very obsessed with nostalgia right now, like very obsessed with nostalgia. This Top Gun Maverick, Grease, like they're really trying to like hang on to these franchises. No, and I get it too. You have these IPs for a reason. You might as well use them and be creative with them. But it seems like they're now known as the quote unquote nostalgia studio. And it's a shame because they're also the home of Quiet Place. They're also going to be they're trying to like put out some great stuff. Like again, I didn't like Smile, but it's still an original movie that made a lot of money. Or Babylon, original movie that I loved. But it seems like they're really focusing on nostalgia. And the guys in Good Burger 2, for example, even the Workaholics guys who I love, they got kind of fucked over. Remember, 2 weeks before production of their Workaholics movie, they got pulled and Paramount told them like, you don't fit our brand anymore. And then they were like, but you just fucking greenlit Good Burger too. Like, wait, what? And the guys were kind of salty about it. They were like, well, you're greenlighting all these other stuff from Comedy Central or your Nickelodeon days. Why do we get fucked over? And I get it. I would be pissed too. 2 weeks before production on a movie, and y'all say, nah, we're good. And again, remember, they don't own the rights to Workaholics. Viacom and Paramount does. So it's like you can't really go anywhere with that. But it does seem like they're very heavily focused on the Star Trek, heavily focused on nostalgia and kind of like really kind of revitalizing their IPs. And I get it. You own those for a reason, but you got to make them worth seeing in theaters or make it worth something new about it. But again, we'll see what happens next. Again, I think this should have stayed a Paramount Plus movie, and breaks my heart saying that because I'm still pro theatrical. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, and that's that. How you doing, my boy? How's your week?
It was good. It was fun. Nothing, nothing special. I've just been gaming, looking for work. I got an interview tomorrow. Had an last week over the phone.
Oh.
They haven't reached out to me yet. It's about to be the end of the week, I guess. So they'll, probably reach out at some point, either tomorrow or at some point after this weekend. If I don't hear anything by Sunday night, then I'll just say like, hey, no job.
Yeah. You watch anything good?
Have I watched anything?
Yeah.
Been watching anime because there's a lot of new anime out right now.
Okay.
I told you about watching what was that dumbass movie? Rebel Moon.
Yeah, you were texting me, bro, and you were cracking me up, bro. Like you
Dude,
were cracking me up.
I know you were laughing, and like knowing that you laughed made me smile, but watching the movie, I was just like, bro, this is shit. You know what I mean? Like I feel like so how can I explain this? It is such an intriguing movie because it has, like you said, people have been saying like it has elements of everything, and when they say everything, it's like everything sci-fi. And so with that, uh, it could really stand out alone,
Yeah.
but it didn't. It was shit. The acting wasn't all that great. You know, it was very stiff. There were a few actors where you're just like, I know them, and you know they did well, of course. You know, Charlie Hunnam, who
Oh yeah.
I've loved since I've watched, Sons of Anarchy. Me and my
Mhm.
family, we loved that show. So, like there's good actors in it, just shit acting overall. Just not, I wouldn't say shit, all right acting. Like
Questionable acting.
nothing special. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
Some
hear
of
you.
these actors are very stiff, like, with their emotions.
Yeah.
Like it felt like I was watching like a Dune spinoff,
Oh
because it's just
no. Like
how
Sci-Fi Channel.
yeah, where it's just
Oh.
like, dude,
Oh.
like you guys couldn't, you know what I mean? So here's what happens in the movie. God, my ears. Sorry, I'm looking at movies on Prime. Um, so here's what happens. So basically, and this is the overall story. I'm not gonna say the whole movie, but basically the premise of the movie is there's this uh there's this king who went across the galaxy and basically conquered all, and
Yeah.
within this kingdom, basically they're greedy. They want everything. That is basically their motto. That's how they that's what they train into their fucking soldiers. They want everything. They literally said that. So they went and got across the galaxy, whatever, and then the king was assassinated, and then like his top general became regent and sent some of his best like generals or something like that out to get to end the rebellion, in the name of their
Mhm.
king, you
Yeah.
know. So it
Yeah.
wasn't like Dune and spice and like people having visions. It's more just like the way their kingdom is set up. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I
It
follow.
it wasn't anything special. The
Right.
characters weren't anything special or stuck out. Like it just very, very dull. It was a
Uh,
dull knife.
it's a shame.
And God, you wanted to use that knife to stab your eyes out. Like it was so boring. You're bored.
Right.
Like
No, I know
I
what you
was
mean.
so bored. You know what I mean? I'm so sorry for the graphic image. You guys don't know me at this point. That you should understand that I'm not gonna hold back my speech.
It's a
Um,
knife.
it's a knife. You know what I'm
It's a
saying?
knife. Yeah.
Not a nice knife.
It's it's funny, the Snyder Defender is not here to defend this movie, and
dude, it was.
which is Nick.
Here's the thing, and you told me, you wanna know what's crazy, right? You
What's
you
that?
texted me, you were like, it was supposed to be a Star Wars movie, and I go,
Yeah.
one of these characters is weapons, understandable now. They still
It's
tried it. I'm not but one character has these weapons, and you're just like, okay, now I see what's going on. Now, I see it.
it's so.
It
Oh, dude. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go
Dude,
ahead.
it's dull. It's really dull. It's boring. You can watch it. It's not gonna be the worst movie you saw this year, but it's gonna be boring. It's gonna be uninteresting. You're gonna, it's And then what I hate about certain movies like this is that there's like this undertone of romance. Like we don't need the romance in this. Like we really don't. You know what I mean? It's like cuz this person loves you. Like ugh, shut up. No. Like there's no room for that here. You know? Like you got to in sci-fi movies, in fantasy movies, you got to do it correctly for me not to hate the romance. You know what I mean? Cuz sometimes they'll
Yeah.
put characters that are just like complete bullshit, you know what I mean? Like the most stereotypical romance, like the princess and the ruffian bandit. Like, oh my god, like it's basically like it was shit. What did I say the other day? I said I hate when there's this uh yeah, it's oh yeah, there's also there's also one character that's just shirtless, and that's his whole thing. Like he's wearing like this uh scarf thing the whole movie, even when they're in like cold areas. This man's wearing scarf, and it's just like he's shirtless. I'm just like that's as as gay people and women fan service. You know what I mean? The shirtless buff dude who's free natured and can relate to a caged flying bird. Like it was absolute shit. It sucked. It was such a plain movie, and they did nothing right in it at all. Nothing. Not the villain, who, by the way, I forgot to tell you, he has an obsession with his stick, and I'm not talking about his
Oh
penis.
boy.
Like, it just he has a stick. I understand like being brutal and like wanting to hurt people and like if he talked about it's not enough if you use a gun, he didn't say anything like that. He was like when he introduces a stick, he's like, "This is how you punish your subordinates," and beats the living fuck out of one person, and then you see him with it throughout the movie. He has this weird obsession with this stick and hitting people with it. It wasn't.
It
It sucked. I was like, "What is this obsession with the like?" We understand it from the
right.
first part about punishing someone, but the rest of it, fuck out of here. No, there was no point in this stick. Like it sucked. Like it was so bad. It was uninteresting. It was boring. It was a mix of so much bullshit. It sucked. It was garbage.
It I'll tell you what. I mean, I know there's two more parts coming.
God,
This,
two? I
this
just thought it was one.
I could
Fuck.
I thought he was doing. Oh, I could be. I think he's doing like a part two and like a prequel spinoff, something like that. Because Netflix wants to like really flesh this out. I'll tell you what. He's been honest about this, so I'll probably get shit from the Snyder fans, but it is what it is. Sorry, Nick. Snyder is not good. Sorry, as a filmmaker, Snyder does not know how to capture romance or comedy well.
No.
And he's been vocal about it on the Russo brothers podcast, like Pizza Film School. And the Russo brother and Snyder even said, like, I don't write comedy. Like me and my co-writers, we're not funny. We don't write comedy. And I'm like, yeah, because there's a lot of funny stuff in your movies, obviously. But also too, I think he says in a podcast or another interview, the way he captures romance is very not natural. It's very stiff. That
It's
stays what it is,
super
stiff.
stiff.
Like the
So stiff.
Lois and Superman Clark stuff in his DC universe, it's fine, but like it's not
Yeah.
like the original Superman
Everyone
and Lois Lane.
knows their
Right,
romance already as is.
right.
She's a reporter, he's Superman.
Yeah.
Like it's not that hard to do.
No, it's not. And I think that as a filmmaker, it's I don't know. There was not a lot of romance in Army of the Dead, or I don't think even Dawn of the Dead either. But
No.
it does. He doesn't know how to capture romance or comedy well, and that's fine. Not every filmmaker can, and I accept that. But from what you're telling me, from what I'm hearing, is just like people are saying like, "Yo, bro, what the fuck?" Like it's, and I'll tell you this. I'll tell the audience too. They don't know this already. This was supposed to be a Disney. It's supposed to be a Star Wars movie. And 'cause I think his co-writer was like a writer on Obi-Wan show. I could be wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And he pitched it as a Star Wars movie. And you would think, he's a pretty big director, and he's everyone he has a following. Like the Snyderverse fans are real. Like it's a real following. He has a fan base. No, I mean his movies haven't always done the best critic wise or box office wise, but he has an audience. He has an
Right.
audience.
Yeah.
Um, let me see.
But
Let me see.
here's my thing,
Go ahead.
right? This movie was shit. Okay? And I would have to see the original script to see if I would have liked this movie. Might did shit anyways, even if it stayed in the Star Wars universe, depending on what he wrote. Because this whole movie was shit. Like
Yeah,
nothing stuck out. And I don't mean shit and like this is the worst movie ever. It was just that it wasn't good. I would give it a 5. Like it's watchable, but at the same time, like I said, nothing special. It's dull thrown through from the beginning to end.
he yeah, I think from what I've heard from this is what yeah, so he had a meeting. Like he had a meeting. I'm sorry, his co-writer did not write Obi-Wan, different writer, but uh he said that yeah, he had a pitch to Kathleen Kennedy. This is on the DGA Director's Cut podcast, which is a really good podcast. Denis Villeneuve is on it a lot. I like it a lot. He had so he had this idea since like college, and even he was working on Man of Steel with Chris Nolan. That he had uh, and he was telling Christopher Nolan about it. I think Christopher Nolan was very supportive. That's pretty cool too. Uh, oh, I see. I see. Oh, I see. So this would happen. I should have known. He pitched this movie right when Disney bought Star Wars and they were developing the new trilogy. So, and we all know my stance on Kathleen Kennedy as a producer and a head of Star Wars. And she said, hell no. And, well, her track record of films and greenlighting stuff has not been subpar, one could
It's
say.
absolute dog shit because she cancels everything except for some fucking little kid cartoon
She,
that no one fucking watches. Not even Star Wars fans have their children watch it.
and I bet you, again, this is off topic. I hope this happens. I bet you that Grogu Mandalorian movie does not get made. I bet you she cancels it. I bet you
Oh
she
yeah,
cancels
most
it.
likely.
She's gonna cancel it,
Well,
bro.
Pedro
John
Pascal
Favreau's
just
doing
won
this.
a Pedro Pascal just won an award. It's Emmy.
And also, he's apparently he's not confirmed. It's not confirmed yet, but he might be our new Reed Richards. He might be our new Reed Richards. So apparently, he
Reed
left
Richards, who is that?
Mr. Fantastic.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I don't see it
I
either.
don't
And
see it.
what bothers me too is that we're on a little bit of tangent. What bothers me too is that he left a movie that I was super excited for. And apparently, he left it for Fantastic Four. It's Zach Krager's Weapons. Who Zach Krager did Barbarian, and I fucking love Barbarian. And I heard the pitch, and it sounds fucking awesome. But now he's supposed to be the lead in that movie, but he left that Zach Krager Weapons movie. I'm like, oh no! And apparently, everyone's like, oh no, he left it for Mr. Fantastic, and I was like, oh, dude, I would do an original movie with a great filmmaker than do a. I mean, I know probably paid a lot more money for Mr. Fantastic. Don't get me wrong. I love him as an actor. I think he's a great actor. He's great as Joel in Last of Us, and he was great. He's a phenomenal actor. I don't see him as Reed Richards. I just don't see it. I do not see
Me
it.
either. I love Pedro Pascal. Like you
He's great
said,
Mandalorian.
he's great Mandalorian, great in a lot of other things that he has been in. But the Reed Richards, I think John Krasinski should have stayed at.
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
was really
I agree on that
perfect.
too. I agree on that too. It yeah, so I don't know, man. It's I'll probably I definitely want to watch it. Like I'm definitely intrigued by it. Even again, I'll probably watch it if I'm like down bad. Like I'm gonna watch it. But like from what
Yeah.
I've heard, man, I have not heard anyone except for Nick. This was in his top 10. I don't, except for Nick. I think Nick is more looking at it as a Zack Snyder defender. That's fine. I defend a lot of movies that are shit that are like by people I love.
Yeah,
I
yes you do. Like
I'm
Entourage. I'm fucking with
Entourage.
you. I'm fucking with you.
Entourage is beloved, my guy.
I'm
That show was
fucking with you.
beloved.
I'm fucking with you. See that
Keep my
fucking
wife's name out your
name out
fucking
your fucking mouth.
no, but again, I love Suicide Squad, and people hate that movie. I love David Ayer, so I'll
It's
stand by
alright.
my boy. So yeah, I don't know. It's again, you made me laugh so hard that day, bro. I was walking the dog and I was hearing your text. I was hearing your text, and I was cracking up laughing, dude. I was like, that's hilarious because I've only heard nothing but bad things about this movie. Yet there's gonna be another part, and
Well, because like here, I was bored. I was like, "Fuck, I don't want to read as I watch anime because I watch Japanese and with subtitles. I don't do English dub. And if you do, I judge you 100%. But there are good animes with some English dub. Uh, anyways, I was like, I didn't feel like reading. So, I finally got back into Netflix because, you gotta give it a very long break before you can hop back onto someone's fucking Netflix. And that's how I bypass it. I stay logged in and I don't watch it for like a month. So anyways, I was looking through it and I saw Rebel Moon. I was like, oh, it's on Netflix. I was thinking, I was like, man, I've been seeing memes about like no video clips, but like memes on like Facebook and stuff, like people just
yeah,
shit talking it, like
yep.
the worst movie of the year, fucking Rebel Moon. So I was like, all right, let's just check this shit out. And I watched it and I was like, man, this is boring. Like, I was like, I got text dying because I was like,
You
man,
were cracking up, bro. You had me cracking
dude,
up.
I was like, man, I sort of want to take a nap. This is those, background, like you put on the list of background noise. It's like, all right, cool, click, go to sleep. That shit was mid as shit. Oh my god, that shit was boring.
I got a lot more to watch this weekend, and I'm gonna watch a lot of stuff this weekend, but like that's the bottom of my list, and I'm like,
Honestly, I'm telling you right now, don't watch it. It's not worth the
I
time.
have no interest, dude. I've been so put off, man, and like I said, like I really did like people had problems with Army of the Dead. Again, me, Hamza, and Nick paid to go see the movie instead of Netflix because we wanted to see this movie on the big screen, and it also was kind of like we were getting out of COVID somewhat, and I really did dug. I really liked a lot was Army of the Dead, and people were like, "This movie's stupid," and I'm like, I had fun with it. I had a good time with it. It's long, but I had a good time with it. But I don't know, man. It's Snyder. The Snyder fans will definitely support him no matter what. And I have yet to see someone. I have yet to see someone that like has said bad things of this movie that is a Snyder supporters. But again, to each their own. To each their own. To each their own. But yeah, I know. I'm yeah, dude, you cracked me up the other day. It's just like Charlie Hunnam and stuff like that, and I would really not gonna happen because she'll probably cancel before it even happens. But Chad Stahelski, who I fucking love this dude, man. I love Chad Stahelski so much. This guy is a fucking great filmmaker. He wants to do a Star Wars movie, and I'm like, dude, oh my god. Again, for context, Chad Stahelski is the director of all four John Wick films, and he's been a stunt coordinator ever since The Matrix. He was Keanu's stunt double in the Matrix movies and has a really great career. Like, look at his IMDb: stunt coordinator, fight coordinator for like huge movies, like Marvel movies, Hunger Games, like huge movies. And he wants to do a Star Wars movie. Probably won't happen because Disney will probably say no, and Lucasfilm probably like, no, we're not doing it. So But man, if he would do some kind of like John Wick 4-esque like action with Star Wars, oh, sign me up. Sign me up. Sign me up. I mean, probably have to be PG-13, unfortunately, because it's it's Disney, your favorite people in the world, Joe. But it would really be cool to see him do like a hand-to-hand combat, but Star Wars, like Jedi, or just kind of just like kind of like the blind Jedi in Rogue One. I was it Rogue Nation? Rogue One.
I don't
That's
think
as Mission Impossible.
that's.
As Mission Impossible, different franchise.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would love for him to do a Star Wars movie, but we all know it's gonna happen. As long as Kathleen Kennedy's president of Lucasfilm, it ain't happening. It's not happening.
Absolutely not.
The
Board needs to kick our ass out. Be like, yeah, no, people are shitting on us.
like, yeah, man.
But I would love to see Charlie Hunnam in a Star
dude.
Wars movie, dude. He could play not Jedi, not Sith. He would be a great like bounty hunter. Like Cad Bane, bro. Fuck.
Oh, no,
The
dude.
best fucking bounty hunter character there is, right? Fucking have Charlie Hunnam as a fucking bounty hunter way before like Order 66, like way before we had Obi-Wan, Anakin. Like, wait, if we can go like old Jedi Temple, like when they were working with like people like that, like it'd be so fucking dope, man. Like,
It's so
oh my
cool.
goodness, he'd be a great character because he'll talk to like it'd be interesting to see someone who isn't a Jedi who's you know getting paid to do good and doesn't mind doing good, but also doesn't mind doing something that the Jedi's wouldn't do. So it'd be an interesting like conversation with Charlie Hunnam has this bounty hunter with a Jedi or something. It'd be so great. It'd be dope. I'd love to see it.
I
You
know,
so
dude.
go.
We just need non Skywalker or Skywalker related. Like, again, they're just what Mando's so good at, and Mando was guilty of this too. Bringing in, when they had Luke, spoiler for season 2, it's been out 4 years. When they bring in, when they DH Hamill, that was a really cool scene. Don't get me wrong, but they really got because Andor is still a prequel to a prequel. You gotta do stuff like Ahsoka has ties to fucking Skywalker too, but you know what I mean. It's like you gotta do some really cool original, not Skywalker related stuff. You gotta do something like this. You gotta do something like outside the Skywalker, whatever. Way years before, way years after. You gotta do something really cool and original. And I feel like Kathleen Kennedy and Disney wants to do Skywalker related stuff. Oh, it's a prequel to a prequel. And you see Anakin, or you see this person. It's like you're obsessed with. There's so much lore to Star Wars. I'm not even a big Star Wars fan, but I know there's a lot more lore.
Yeah,
To
like
Star Wars.
with Warhammer 40K, with Star Wars, with Star Trek. That's a shout out for Papa Jones.
Oh yeah, love that.
With stuff like this, there's so much lore. They're written in a comic, in a full on book, and picture books, even just video games. Like there's so much lore that you could really pick. You could close your eyes, point your finger at something, and be like, "There we go. Let's go fucking do this." You know what I mean? I feel like we don't do that enough. Now it's just like the characters, like the production company or people are just like, people want to see characters. I'm tired of seeing characters I know. You know what I mean? It's like I don't want to see characters I know. I don't want to see actors I know. I want to see new people. I want to see the new generation. I want to see new characters that haven't been introduced on the big screen, and we just don't do that enough, and it's really shitty. And that's why I feel bad, because I do like Zack Snyder movies with and with Rebel Moon and everything, but like those characters were dry, they were dull.
Oh yeah.
Unrefined. If you guys have ever watched the show Forge and Fire, like if you guys like competitions and you guys like weapons, that's a pretty cool show. I like watching it on YouTube. They have full episodes. Uh, where blacksmith will go and they'll heat up like a piece of metal and then they'll make their shape, and then what you're supposed to do is like harden it by dipping in oil or water or something after heating it, and then you take it to the grinder and you clean it up. You get rid of all the muck and stuff. You make it shiny. You make it sharp. You make it.
Like a
He
noise.
basically he made a shape, and then that was it. He was like, all right, cool. This I
See how,
win.
wow.
That's all.
Yeah.
He made shapes and then didn't refine it. He didn't refine it at all. If I, yeah, and
Yeah.
that's
Sucks.
okay when you're making like something, but like something like Rebel Moon, if it's not a show, I'll say this: you can't do it for movies. You could do it for shows.
Right.
And why is because you can refine it over time. Has an introduction. All right, here's your rough shape. Let's be vague. Let's with the audience, let's sculpt this out into something super refined, sharp, and just everybody will love it. You can do that. But with a movie like Rebel Moon, you can't. You're introducing a whole new galaxy, a whole new world, yes. But again, it's a movie. If by the end of the movie, if it is still its shape, if you haven't cleaned it up at all, you're gonna have problems because that means the characters are fucking boring. They're
Yeah.
dull. No one wants to fucking watch boring characters.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Just
Mm-hmm.
because you made them unique doesn't make them lovable, doesn't make them interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Unique things have to be interesting within movies, and he
Preach, my guy.
didn't. He didn't do that at all. It was a very dull movie, and so like things like Star Wars, things like Star Trek, and Warhammer 40K and a lot of other things that I don't know the name of or I'm not, that I'm forgetting have lore to. They're not like that's the thing. Like in the beginning, here's the shape. All right, now we refine it. And that's
Yeah.
what happened with Luke Skywalker and Princess Leia and
Mm-hmm.
Han Solo, who, by the way, I'm pretty sure he wasn't even supposed to be there as long as he did. And guess what? He fucking lasted. He lasted so long. The character became so loved because he made, even if it wasn't super refined, he made a character that was interesting. He cleaned it up a bit, and the fans loved it. And then he made it into such a unique and interesting jewel, and people love Han Solo. Harrison Ford made such an amazing character and helped him make that character, and it was just, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
No,
Rebel Moon wasn't good, but we're with the new, since I mentioned like New Blood and seeing them do something, Percy Jackson. That the new kid actors, the young actors for that show are killing it. I'm really liking the show, even though Disney did it.
that was part of the merger, part of the Fox merger. Yeah. I,
Sadly, if
I
it
would
if it wasn't, I feel like it'd be like 10 times better. But overall, the actors and the director and the cast and crew and they really put in work for the show, and it's really good. And to see New Blood acting and doing so well too. They're young, by the way. They're killing it. Some of them are gonna take
be
off
stars.
from yeah, some of them are gonna be stars after Percy Jackson, after his first season and everything.
Yeah.
I can see them in other stuff. They're gonna because Percy Jackson's doing well, and so the one that plays what's her name, Annabeth. I can see her in something. She's a young black lady. I don't know her name. Haven't looked it up. I haven't looked up their names at all. I know the kid playing Percy. He's from Adam Project. Mini Ryan Reynolds.
Walker Scobell, yeah.
Walker
Walker
Scobell.
Bell.
He did a big movie with Ryan Reynolds, and he's taken off from
That
that, and he's doing his own thing, and he's gonna continue. He's gonna be an actor, that like a lot of us have watched, as a young person become an adult and go very far into the industry. So I think he's gonna do really well. I'd like to see him in more serious roles. I think that'd be interesting. So, so he's not method. He's not like
Yeah.
stuck playing a certain character because Percy in this show is also a little snarky. He's a young kid who's just like, I'm a half god. My dad's abandoned me, and my mother's in, with Hades right now, and there's about to be a war, and it's all on me. What the fuck? He's gonna be snarky, so but I don't want to see him get stuck in this type of character, because that does destroy actors who want to branch out. So hopefully in the future he can get a very serious role because I think he could really do well in it. Um, but also are you looking at the cast right now or no?
I am. So yeah, do you want me
What's the young black girl's name that's playing Annabeth?
her name is I have a similar take what you just said about Walker Scobell. Leah Jeffries. Leah
Leah
Jeffries.
Jeffries. Shout out to her because she's good. I like her. I feel like she's gonna go far as well. So I'm gonna keep a lookout for her and see what she's gonna do and see a movie she'll do because she's gonna kill it. I can tell she's gonna kill it. And yeah, we'll see what happens. So keep an eye out for these new actors. Even and I'm not just talking about actors I'm mentioning right now for Percy Jackson. I'm talking, to the listeners right now. If you guys are watching some new blood and you like someone, pay attention to them.
Mm-hmm.
Promote them. Be like, yo, check this guy out, so that they can get fans and a following, and they can keep going further and further within the industry, and they don't get stuck. They don't hit the wall. With fans, a lot of actors, fresh blood, you know, they go farther and farther because of fans. And so,
Mm-hmm.
we help them rise up. So, yeah. But what were you going to say, Doug?
No, I completely agree. That's how I felt about the kid from the Holdovers. I think he's going to be a star. I think a lot of these guys got to see what they do. Hopefully, they're not one hit wonders. And I think from what I'm hearing from you about Percy Jackson, that these kids are like stars in the making, and that's really
Yeah.
cool. So you and I have really good. I think kind of to pat our own backs a little bit. You and I are very good at like kind of finding young talent in a way of like watch them be big one day or watch them not be big one day. I mean, vice versa too. We might be like, oh yeah, they're
Hmm.
not working. No, they're not working again. And you and I have been 95% right on a lot of stuff of like we
Yeah.
haven't seen that in a movie in a long time. And unfortunately, that's a business too. That's life.
Hmm.
You might not work out. So you have
But
so you're right.
yeah, and it's shitty because it's also the fans that sort of drag him down because, like not John Belushi. What's his fucking name? What's his name again? Is it John Belushi? No, that's the brother. He's still alive, right?
The brother Jim is still alive.
Jim still alive. John Belushi was, typecasted, and he tried doing serious movies, and no one liked those movies. No one wanted to see him because they know John Belushi has these characters, and he got typecasted, and that really affected his mental health, and that took him down a dark road. And I'm not saying that's the main reason why he committed suicide. It is an actor that probably, didn't help. So, if you like someone like a type of character, don't keep them as that one little character. Like let them branch out, let them try different things, support them in what they do, and because a lot of good actors get typecasted, and fans don't
Oh
help
yeah.
because they want to see them do these characters continuously. It's like you gotta let them branch, because if you don't, and one, they're not gonna be able to refine their craft. Two, they're not gonna go farther. We're gonna see them in a few movies, and they're gonna be dead in the fucking water.
Oh yeah. It's the bit. Yeah, man. That's you. Do you have Paramount Plus by chance?
Yeah, my friend lets me use
Uh,
it.
you gotta watch Babylon, dude. I think you would really like
Babylon.
Babylon. It's
Yeah.
Damien
Oh yeah,
Chazelle.
I heard you talking about. It. Yeah,
It's
I
yeah,
remember.
it's Brad Pitt, Margot Robbie, Damien Chazelle, who did La La Land, First Man, Whiplash. The movies, it came out and like literally like no one, like, it did not do well at all. And I saw it like on a matinee one day because it's also a very long movie. But dude, the movie is really about like how you stay relevant and being typecasted in a movie. And for a movie that's set in the 1920s, 1930s, the message is very, very relevant to this day. And I think you would like it a lot because of what you just said, because of what you're saying, because of like that, like how to like not be typecasted, not kind of be in the same role. And you're right too. It's hard for someone to kind of like get out of that like typecast because agents and executives and producers like, no, we want to see you as this person, this person, this person. And a lot of actors try to get out of it. Does it always work? Like you said, no. But I think you would like Babylon for that reason, just because of like the message they're trying to say of like how when you're in this business, you'll still be remembered, but like you might have a hard time kind of like transitioning from like a certain type of role to another. And I think you'll like
Mm-hmm.
it a lot because of that reason alone. But you're right. It's tough. It's tough. And like the girl who I mentioned in the Mean Girls, who's playing the Lindsay Lohan part, Angori Rice or Andrea Rice, whatever her name is. She's been a high school student basically her entire career. You know, she's Betty Brant in the Tom Holland Spider-Man movies. And she's like, I want to she's like 22, 21, 22. And
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, she's 22. But I mean, look, she was in The Nice Guys. I love The Nice Guys. But like her last couple of movies, yeah, Honor Society, high school student, senior year, high school student, Mean Girls, high school student. Um,
God
yeah,
dang it.
I mean, Black Mirror, high school student. It's
Mm.
like every day, high school student. Like there's a pattern here, so it's like it's hard. I mean, once you're like casted like that, and you know, also too, it's like a lot of actors. I mean, again, it's like they're typecasted, and they want to break out, but like it's you know, it's tough. It's tough, like you said, it's tough, and you know, like and it kind of might backfire on you, like the guy Ben Platt who played Dear Evan Hansen in the live production, the Broadway version, and is playing high school again in Dear Evan Hansen, the movie adaptation. And I don't have a problem with it personally, but like a man is 35 years old. You can't be playing high school student no more, bro. Like no, I don't think he was that old, but he was like in his 30s. I want to say.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, bro, you gotta know what
Which,
like.
yeah, which makes me, by the way, which makes me happy about back to Percy Jackson is that
Yeah, go on.
they're really young. They're not like
Right
20
age,
something year olds
right,
playing high
right,
schoolers
right,
anymore.
right.
So, I'm happy to see that they're using, people, within the age range, which is good. Anyways,
Right.
back to what you were saying. Yeah.
Or even
No,
like
but I completely agree. We gotta
I'm talking
really
about.
stop using 20-something-year-olds for these fucking roles. Where you're just like, damn, dude, when
Come
you
on
start
now.
this career, it's been 11 years. You started this at 19, 20. You need to stop. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it'd
Yeah.
be weird if we still saw Zac Efron as a high school.
Oh yeah, dude.
He did the one movie you were like I never watched where it's like the grandfather goes back at the high school,
Oh
he's young
god,
again
dude.
or something, 17 again or some
Look,
shit like that.
I love it. I love that movie. I love 17 again. I love that movie. You're right. And he wanted to get out of that. Seemed like even musicals too. He said he wanted to get out of musicals. It wasn't until like Greatest Showman came to the table. He goes, okay, I guess I'll do it because of Hugh Jackman, obviously.
Hmm.
But you're right. You're right. It's like he was playing high school students. Like I mean, I get it, man. Like, and again, I give him a lot of props. And if you hear my review roundup tomorrow, my audio newsletter, I talk about the Iron Claw. I was kind of like very proud in a way of like Zac Efron for kind of like doing more serious roles like Iron Claw because you're like we grew up on this guy watched High School Musical to 17 again to like Neighbors. He was playing the college boy frat boy a little bit. It's like man oh man, like
Yeah, he went from eating a nothing sandwich to wrestling and to Neighbors, and even with Neighbors, he was still playing this type of
the
character, I
douchey.
guess. Yeah, douchey. So to see him in a more serious role, and by the way, main role, I guess you could say, it's interesting and yeah, with such a great cast. I haven't seen it, but I want to. It stuck out to me the first time I saw it. So, yeah, no, it's interesting. So I'm happy when people are able to break away from these typecasting characters. Um, but it's still really big issue. And what's so funny is that
Yeah.
they lose fans
Oh yeah.
whenever
Oh dude,
they try something new.
huge.
Like Like I've heard people have conversation about some movies that I really like, and they're just like Ryan Gosling. Like, they see him as this like flirty, handsome dude that can only play like the really like funny,
Yep.
attractive guy. You know what I mean? But it's like Place Beyond the Pines, um, was it The Gray Man? Like stuff like that. Drive. Uh, when he does these serious roles, those are my favorites. I still like him when he does the comedies and stuff, but when he does these serious roles, killer. But like when people like, seen him as like do so many movies that are very like comedy or whatever, and he tries something different, like people like shit on him, and it's like, dude, like where I'd be like, didn't you like this one movie? He's like, yeah, it's like this. He did great in this one. It's just not making jokes. He's still doing the same job, just a different character, different type of character. That's the point of acting. You know what I mean? You make these you find these different characters and you bring them to life. Emma Stone has done it. She's been killing it, by the way.
Oh, I know,
You know
dude.
what I mean?
Oh, dude.
I didn't think I'd like Cruella, bro. When I watched that, I was
Oh,
like,
God, bro.
damn, bro. She killed. I feel like if it was someone else, I don't think I would have liked it as much because she killed it. And then there was this one movie that came out. I haven't watched it yet, but it's supposed to be super weird with her in it. I want to watch it, but like, man, like when you let them be them and do the job that they have a passion for, and let them make these characters come to life on the big screen or even at TV at home, it, it, it you can get jewels that are just so amazing. You know what I mean?
Is the one you're referring to, that the new one she's in, Poor Things?
I think so, where she's like a weird, very pale
Frankenstein? Like,
and with black hair.
yeah, it's supposed to be like
it,
Frankenstein. And I heard it's fucking I heard this. I want to see it too, but I heard it's like it's a lot of fucking. I heard it's a lot of fucking. It's a lot of a lot of
I'm
weird
used
shit
to
going
it.
on.
If you watch British TV, there's a lot of sex.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Like
Skins,
Skins.
skins. Yep.
Skins, which I got your cousin Mac into, bro. Like, dude, Skins is great. Like, it's a great story. Just a lot of sex, a lot of dude ass. Uh,
A lot
you
of people. Yeah,
know,
that's the British television for you for
yeah, a lot of
yeah,
nudity,
a
honestly,
lot of
and they should talk
nudity.
us.
Yeah,
Which is
there's
funny. They should talk us about sex, and it's like, bro, you guys have a lot of sex. But also, anyways, like I'm used to, I'm fine with that. I want it. Just seems like I like weird movies. You know this. I like weird movies. I haven't mentioned any, but I do like weird movies. So
Oh yeah, no, I don't. I've appreciated my inner weirdness for movies more, more and more. I mean, linked to you obviously in high school as well. But
dude, remember when we watched weird movies and then we had to watch it and then like we talked about it and we sadly brought Three Stooges with us and they shit talking me and you were just like whatever. And then we went to McDonald's. we we talk about like, man, the script was
yeah,
so amazing and like their character was so weird but like so like outstanding, blah blah blah. Like we loved it, dude. Dude, my God, I still love weird movies because it's interesting. Like I feel like there was this one, I don't want to call it, it's weird in a way because I feel like the subject of it, but I need to rewatch it to watch the full story of it because I feel like I was too young, to thoroughly watch it, which was The Nymphomaniac Volume 1 and 2. I watched both of them.
oh yeah, oh
I need
yeah.
to watch
I've
that.
heard that's
Dude,
with Shia LaBeouf, right?
yeah, for all the women out there, gay men, they and
Isn't
thems
there like
who
actual
like
like sex
no matter what.
in the
Yeah,
movie?
yeah.
Yeah, I remember someone in film school was like, "Tell me about it," and I was like, "Oh, word," and I was like, "All right." I just never. I know.
It's
I know interest. I know interest. I had no interest. But go ahead.
it's a movie that how can I say this? It's a movie that pushes you into an uncomfortable place because of the topic, which is sex. The main person is a nymphomaniac. She's addicted to sex, and so it follows her through dealing with being in relationships and, with men with insecurities and her addiction and trying to fix it and then, relapsing and stuff like that is very uncomfortable. It's a lot of nudity, has to do with sex, yes, but it's an intriguing movie and I need to rewatch it. And I always tell people this. I watched it and I never thought that I would have saw Shia LaBeouf's penis, but hey, I did. And so that was, I felt like, like that was my first time ever encountering like, oh shit, right, like we're all growing up type of thing. You know what I mean? Like Shia LaBeouf is an adult man. So it's like I'm gonna see him and stuff like this and other people that you grew up with, you know what I mean? So that's what I was talking about. It was like it throws me off, but it's like at the same time, like as we get older, they're gonna do things like this. You're gonna see them in stuff like this. So, but also he did a great job, and I remember that. But yeah, it's
dig them holes, man. You have to go dig them.
yeah, I went from and his show. What was the show he had on Disney?
Even Stevens?
Yes, Even Steven, bro. That was a great show. I grew up watching that, so it threw me off to, as you get older, at a certain point you like realize like, oh shit, like I don't know what that point was for you, but that was the point for me where I was like, oh shit, right, So, but
he's no longer Disney no more.
Yeah, he's no longer dead. That's literally what I said. I'm not gonna lie. I said, "Oh, he's not doing Disney no more."
He's long gone from that.
Yeah, he's long gone from that. But man, like everyone has that realization. So that's why I talk about like first time ever seeing his penis. Yeah, I mean, so that's why I mean like when I say that. So, but it's an interesting movie. I feel like, and you know me, like I'm not shy about like sex and conversations of religion and politics. So I definitely need to check this movie out again. It's just so now that I have a more understanding of the world and broader view, and I'm not so uncomfortable with everything.
Yeah, again, it's a film that some people were talking about on film school a lot. And I remember one of my coworkers, Emily, who like she had a really good take on movies. I always appreciate talking to her at work about movies, and she was telling me about that movie. And she was like, "Yo, fuck Lars von Trier was the filmmaker of that movie," and she gave really depth analysis about movies, and she kind of told me a lot of stuff that I wasn't familiar with. And I was like, "Oh shit!" Yeah, no, it's again, it was cinema. It's the thing with cinema. Like you never know what to expect. Like I. No, it's like again when you see things at a young age. I remember when I saw Django when I was like, oh, I was like 14, 15. I was like, oh shit. I was like, what is this? Or even I got more mature. Obviously, when I saw Wolf of Wall Street, I was like, oh, okay, this is what other movies are like at times.
I was already in my 20s when I watched Wolf of Wall Street.
Yeah, you were a little.
That was because I was
party. But
yeah, no, I was yeah, no, yeah. Our friend group gave me so much shit because y'all were like everyone's nah.
Yeah,
and you'd be like, I got voodoo. It's on voodoo. I'm just like, I haven't been in the mood, and I watched it. I was like, yeah, it's good. It's good. Yeah, I didn't love it as much as you guys, but yeah, But anyways, back to what you were saying.
Oh, we probably overhyped it a little bit for you. But you're right. That's like there's some movies that kind of stick with you. Like I know Moses hated it. I really liked it. My top 10 was Saltburn, and people are having the kind of reaction.
I still haven't seen that yet, and it's on my It's on my watch next on Amazon.
I'm really curious to see what you think of it, and I think why I liked it a lot was that I went in blind, not seeing the trailer, nor did Z, and I was like, oh fuck, this is what the movie is, and It's a movie. It's why I like this movie too. Someone on Twitter said this too, and Twitter I'm kind of getting a little angry with right now because of how people are so stupid on there. Is that not something about Bradley Cooper is I don't know. I love Bradley Cooper a lot, as you know, and it's like someone said like, how dare he play Leonard Bernstein, and I was like, okay, Jesus Christ. This one girl was just like, oh my god, like she goes, he played American Sniper. How can we forgive him for that? I was like, oh, piss off,
Jesus Christ,
piss off. I'm like, oh my god.
He did a movie about a real military hero who tragically died, and people are still shit talking him and the fucking actual person.
Yeah,
Fuck me.
I on Twitter. I was like, I need to get off social media for a week. I was like, I need a break. I was just like, oh my god. But I forgot what I was saying. But no, sorry. Saltburn was basically like someone said like the movie's very divisive. It's very divisive. You either love it or you hate it. I mean, you might be in between, but like from what I'm hearing, that you like it, you love it, or you don't like it. Don't like it at all. I mean, I liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it a lot actually. It's again my top 10. But someone said, "Isn't it great though that an original movie like this is causing so much discourse?" And I was like, "Yes, celebrate
That's so
that.
good. That's
Celebrate
actually
that.
a really good. That's
Celebrate
actually a
that."
really good saying. That's dope. I love whoever said that.
Yeah,
That's great.
I think I retweeted it.
I'm not
It's great.
on social media like that, you know what I mean? Like my like social media is like mainly for contacting like different types of people, you know what I mean? Like, to keep
Oh
up
yeah,
with some people. Um
I'm trying to
I,
find that tweet right now. It's I don't.
but that's such a great
It was
quote
a good tweet.
to
It was a
say
good
about
tweet.
movie. Is a really good tweet. I really like that. I really do. I don't know. I didn't know that I was getting this much traction. Like, like hate and love. So this is new to me. So this is interesting. And to have someone quote that like in a tweet, that's so great. I
This
love that.
found it. This is at the creation. I kind of summarized it. It goes, no matter if you loved it or hate it, seeing an original non-IP movie gain this much traction is something to celebrate. I was like, yes. I was like, yes, 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 yes,
I
King.
liked what you said better.
Twitter. Yeah, yeah. My
Motherfucker better
abridged.
tweet that.
And all right, my abridged version. Yeah, and I do think that like it's a movie that got a lot of traction when people saw it, when it came out, last month. And it was, I mean, I'm
Right.
not gonna lie, it was definitely it was a quick turnaround from theatrical to streaming. And I'm like, all right, Amazon was trying to push it to streaming so quick for the holidays. So I'm like, all right, I get
Of
it, but you
course,
should let a
man.
movie. Should let a had how air had a
But
45 day window.
I feel like, for I'll say this Amazon because holidays no one goes to movies. No one. I feel
It
like
used
a
to, not
lot of
anymore. Not anymore.
yeah,
Not
like
anymore.
not anymore. That's what I'm saying. So I feel
Not
like
anymore. Yeah.
there would have been a very big period for them where it was dead and they would have gotten no traction. You know what I mean? No views. And so that, box off whatever the number would have been too low. The earnings would have been too low. So I feel like, they're probably just doing it in a business way where they're like, yeah, no, we're gonna bring it out here, but the holidays are gonna come and it's gonna be dead, and so might as well just pull it. But I understand what you're saying too.
Yeah. Let me see the. I don't know the budget.
I watched the trailer and it caught my attention, and
It's
the guy from Euphoria, I hate his
great.
character in Euphoria.
Great actor.
Fucking great actor.
Great actor too.
He's killing it,
He's a
honestly.
great
He's
actor,
he's
man.
expanding too. And so I'm
Yeah,
excited
huge.
to see where he goes. I really am. You
He
know?
he uh he I was kind of surprised by this. I don't know what happened. There was no kind of like reason why. So Andrew Garfield was supposed to play Dr. Frankenstein in the Guillermo del Toro movie. I was like, oh fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Garfield quit. He just quit. So now he got
What?
replaced. There's no reason why he quit. So now it's gonna be Jacob Elordi's gonna be playing Andrew Garfield character. I'm
Hmm.
like, okay, it's a good sub, but I would prefer Andrew Garfield
Andrew
hands
Garfield
down.
would have been a perfect fucking Dr.
Let me
Frankenstein.
see. Yeah, let me see if I can find the article. I was like, really? It happened during the stupid award show the other day. I saw it over like social media, and it was like, oh, he's done, and I was like, oh, he quit. I was like, really? I was like, that would have been sick. Oh, let's see. Let me see. Oh, yeah, Teen Vogue. Yeah, listen to that. Yeah, my boy Doug Jones is gonna be in it. I hope I don't get mistaken for him again. Uh, Stupid ass fucking reception, fucking girl. What's your name? Doug Jones. She goes, stop playing with me, boy. I was like, my name is Doug Jones. She goes, I see some ID. Give her my ID. She goes, oh, here's your ticket. I was like, why would I lie about that? Like, I was like,
Wow. Who would have thought that common name is
I
something that
know.
someone else besides the actor
Oh, she
has?
was yelling at me too. I was like, and also too, again, hot. I probably get shit on this for too, but it's out there. I'm very local. I did not like Shape of Water at all. I think Del Toro was a great filmmaker. I think he's a really good dude too. The movie was not for me, and I was forced to go to that movie 4 different times during film school, and it was mandatory. It was like a
Still
screening
haven't
for
seen it.
school. Yeah, I mean, it's creative. It's creative, obviously, great score, but it wasn't for me. It was not for me. And I had to see the movie 4 different times in film school at 4 different screenings because it was through like classes, through like screening classes, whatever. Like my teachers were all part of like whatever. I was like, okay, whatever. And I was like, oh man, I can see this movie again. And my 4th time I had to go see it was junior year, right before you came to visit me for my 21st. Remember, the story for our audience, whatever, is that they're having a Doug Jones, the actor, who I'm not related to whatsoever, but great actor. He was Silver Surfer. He was in the Hellboy movies. He's the Fish Man, in Shape of Water. He's a creature actor. He's a great actor. He's a great
Yeah,
actor.
he was
Great
in
actor.
it wasn't Pan's Labyrinth.
He was.
No.
He was.
He was, yeah, he was. He
He
was
was.
a
He was.
thing with the eyes in the hands, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's him. That's him.
He also did the what's that angel movie? Uh you know when one angel comes down and he's like, I'm here to save the world and stuff, and like they're in like this little diner.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Oh,
That one,
Legion.
he
Legion.
yeah,
Yeah, Legion. Yeah, yeah,
he's the
yeah.
fucking creepy guy with the big mouth that
Legion.
there's always a
Yeah,
picture of. That's him,
Legion.
and
That's him.
because he's so lanky, he's so
He's
great.
very. He plays like he's a character actor for sure. He plays these creatures. Also,
I love that.
you know what? He's also the alien in The Watch. Isn't that hilarious?
He is.
Yes.
That's fucking hilarious.
Isn't that great? He's the alien in The Watch. I'm like, what man? That's awesome. And The Watch movie that you and I love
Fuck you,
deeply.
Chucho.
Chucho. And yeah, he's the alien in The Watch. I'm like, that's hilarious. Anyway, so
Chucho, no,
no,
God,
his
no.
his body fell. He's not coming back.
Not coming back. He's still
Coming back.
crying. Like, and I love when they were shooting the alien. They got shooting, just making sure. It's just such a great movie.
It's so funny, dude.
I love Ben Stiller. Like, Ben Stiller is such a phenomenal writer and just actor. I love seeing the things that he does. Growing up on Ben Stiller is a big thing for it. It was Jim Carrey, Ben Stiller, and Adam Sandler. Those were people
Yeah,
I
man.
grew up on. I loved their movies because comedy, as a kid, so comedy, runs in my family. Like, movie wise, like, we love comedy, especially dark comedy or just stupid comedy as well. So Big Daddy. It's been years since I watched, what was it, Fat Camp or whatever.
Oh, Heavyweights.
Yeah, there you go. Dodgeball, which is great. He's a blazer.
Michelle.
You already know Michelle.
Michelle. It's so good.
LaFleur.
Michelle.
I love this character
So good.
that so much.
It's a movie so good.
Let's get out of here, Michelle.
Michelle. Let's go,
Because
Michelle.
we want. Because this place is filled with a bunch of losers.
It's loser. Yeah, it's so good. What was I looking up originally? Oh yeah, scheduling conflicts. So yeah, Garfield dropped out of Del Toro's Frankenstein due to scheduling conflicts. Yeah, that's not a good sign. That's not a good sign.
Yeah.
What's Garfield even? But anyway,
Well,
the girl.
He might be
the
doing
girl
another movie.
I wish he was
He has a
doing.
family too, as well, right? He has young kids, I think, right?
Nope.
No,
He's
I
still.
thought he had family.
No, he I don't think he has a new girlfriend, but
He has a new.
he hasn't
Okay,
done it.
I guess. Oh.
He has
All right.
2 movies and he has 2 movies in post already. They're already in post production. I don't know, but I don't know. But yeah, anyway, so like
Maybe
the girl
something more tantalizing came along.
probably could have been like, hey, you want I can't pass on this, unfortunately.
Yeah,
But you never know. But yeah, anyway, the girl thought I was lying when I said that I was with Doug Jones while Doug Jones was the guest of honor at this screening, and I was like, I'm not lying about that. She got mad at me. She was just like,
You
stop playing with
should
me. And I was
next
like,
time just say I'm Douglas Jones.
I should, yeah, but my legal full name. She
Yeah,
was
your
so
legal
mad,
full
bro.
name.
She was so mad at me.
It's like I'm not joking with you, bitch, right? But also just like I understand like why the hostility off the rip, by the way. Like usually people I feel
Yeah,
like people would be like, "Ah, that's funny. What's it your actual name?" You'd be like,
she,
"No, my name is actually Doug Jones." Like no, she was just like, "Don't you fucking lie.
and I'm like, don't you
You're
lie to
not
me.
him. You're not
You're
him."
not. You're not.
Don't you
You'll
lie.
never be
What's that
him.
movie?
You'll
Yeah,
never
what's
be
that movie?
him.
Don't you lie to me. What was it? Oh yeah, no, I'm thinking of Talladega Nights.
Don't you put that shit on?
Don't you put that shit on me, Rick and
Ricky
Bobby.
Bobby.
Don't you put that on me.
R.I.P. the great Michael Clark Duncan. Yeah.
R.I.P. man. I
Yeah, but I don't know. It's gonna be just yeah. You're right. He's definitely back to your Jacob Elordi. Yeah, I think he's definitely gonna be he's a great actor. He's really good in Saltburn. Like he really like you see him not as like a complete
He's
prick.
doing that new Elvis, or is that out already?
Yeah, Zeta liked it a lot. Zeta said
Really?
Zeta saw it the other day and she was saying that like he was really good.
Mm.
And because it's a very different Elvis, obviously from the Elvis movie
It
that came out
Yeah, and
last
this
year.
one's from the view of his ex-wife. Yeah.
His wife, yeah, because it's based on the book she wrote, based on the book that she wrote and she produced. Yeah, and she was saying that he was a really good Jacob, really good Elvis.
He
Jacob
was a
too.
really good him.
Jacob. It was good him, hey man. You do you, boo boo.
He was doing himself through and through. That's just who
He
he is.
yeah. No, I'm sorry. I'm way off. So I'm sorry. So Andrew Garfield was going to play the actual monster, and
Oh,
because
really?
Oscar Isaac's going to be playing Dr. Frankenstein. Uh,
Oh, okay.
so now, sorry, I'm sorry, my correction, my bad. Garfield's supposed to play the monster, dropped out, and now Jacob Elordi's going to be playing the monster. And what's so weird too is that this happened like a week after Ryan Gosling dropped out of the Wolfman remake. And I
Oh,
was,
really? That would have been good too.
yeah, you know why? 'Cause you know who's doing it is Lee Winnell who did Upgrade.
Really?
Yeah, and I was
Okay.
like, oh
That would have
man.
been so interesting. You want to know what I would love to see be remade? Here, I'll say this because I don't like remakes. You guys know that. But I would love to see something like it because I
What's that?
rewatched it not too long ago. What was it? Werewolf in London or whatever.
Oh, American Werewolf in London.
Yeah, American
Yeah,
Werewolf in London.
that's a good one.
That
It's
one.
classic.
That would be interesting. You know, not London, but something like it, you know, because it plays on the lore of, you know, originally where the Wolfman came from. You know what I mean? Where it's
Yeah,
like, you know, this creature in the woods, blah blah blah. And then
it's a dark comedy. It's a very dark comedy.
it is something
Very dark
else.
comedy.
It's very dark, but
Just
you know, something like that.
just change London to Detroit. There you go. Dangerous,
God,
dangerous enough.
so what are you talking about? The Wolfman be running around. Where is everyone? Fucking no.
Hey, that's funny. After I saw Barbarian, I literally tweeted out, I'm like, this is why I fucking hate Detroit. I got so many likes and retweets on that.
People from Detroit hate Detroit. What do you
But yeah,
mean?
we watched
Dude?
it. I watched it with Zeta again when Grant was in town like a year or two ago, and and she was like, "Is this really Detroit? How bad it is?" And Grant was like, "Yes."
Yeah. Dude,
I'm like, "Yeah,
there's
bro, like that."
I see this meme of like destroyed houses and cars and stuff, and it's like Detroit before bomb, Detroit after. It's the same picture.
There's a there's it's hilarious. It's the same. There's a great line. Deadpool 1 and 2 have two of the best lines that Ryan Reynolds has ever written. If you ask me, the first Deadpool one where he sees like T.J. Miller put him on the Deadpool list, whatever, and he goes, well, fuck you, man. He goes, the joke's on you. I'm gonna live to 102 and then dying like Detroit. That cracked me up in the theater. You have no
Yeah.
idea. I was
Dude, I
laughing.
died laughing.
It's the funny. He goes, "I'm gonna fuck you. The joke's on you. I'm gonna live to 102 and then die like Detroit." And it cracks me up. And that if I watch it, it makes me laugh so hard for some reason. And the Deadpool 2, there's a line where he cracks me up where they're interviewing all like the X Force people, and he goes, Bill Skarsgård, who's in that movie, he like this spits venom, whatever. He goes, I can spit acidic venom. Do you want to see? And Ryan Reynolds goes, no, we're good. We've all eaten at Arby's before.
Fuck's sake.
Subtle lines that like when you watch, it's funny. Watch it again, they kind of just like they stick with you. And that Detroit line and the Arby's line just makes me laugh every time I watch those movies because it's so cause it's so random. It's so like okay, that's pretty funny actually, but like he's not wrong. But yeah, that's I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of line he has in DP3.
Oh, dude, I can't wait. Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Oh, dude.
And then we're gonna finally see the fucking outfit.
Oh, I know, dude.
People have been waiting years. And what movie was it that they brought the costume to life, but they never showed it in the movie?
It's a deleted scene in the one that you and I saw in high school. The one he goes to Japan.
Okay, the Wolverine.
The Wolverine, yeah, the Wolverine. Which honestly, it's a pretty
The
good
Wolverine.
movie.
Yeah.
It's a good movie.
I feel like they fucked up with the enemy. I think that's where they ruined. That's where they lost people.
Yeah, I remember you saw that. We saw that in high school. You were like, they had me, and then they lost you when.
And then they lost me. Yeah.
I remember that.
If you're on TikTok, you know, basically you had me, and then you lost me.
You lost me. Yeah, I would agree with that. And it's like, but I think thanks to that movie, we got Logan. Thanks to that movie, which is
Logan, which did so well. I feel like we might have got Logan anyways if the movie did well.
Well, remember they wanted to do Wolverine rated R, and Fox said no, you're not doing this. I remember this was before Deadpool was even announced. So thanks to Deadpool, we got Logan. That's really why we got Logan, because Deadpool did so well, and it made so much fucking money. And so the studio felt like, cool, we can do Logan R now. And it's funny enough, Margot Robbie has an interview with I think GQ, and she was saying that when they were prepping and shooting the first Suicide Squad back in 2016, sorry, 2014, sorry. She goes, hey, because they were already prepping to do like a Harley Quinn solo spin-off movie, right? And she goes, cool, I want to do rated R. And this is like 2014, 2015. It's before Deadpool even came out. And the studio goes, no. You're doing PG-13, lunchboxes, Mickey D's, Happy Meal toys, everything. And she goes, what?
Sadly, film industry is still a business. So like when it comes to production, I always tell people this, like really depends on how a movie goes, that production took it for the business wise. Like that's why we don't have a lot of R-rated, hero movies. Like Suicide Squad should, and Harley Quinn should be rated R. Like, like it really, like a lot of these things, like, right now, and I'll say this, like it's not as much, but we talked about the beginning of this podcast, not this episode, but like when we first started the podcast, is that the world is being child friendly, which doesn't help anyone. And it's very frustrating because like, I don't understand why this world is revolving around children. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, yeah. It's
because like growing up, there were so many rated R and unrated movies, and you couldn't watch any of them unless your parents were cool. It's like, all right, we're gonna watch this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, the world wasn't focused around us as kids. Like McDonald's and stuff, but like the movie industry wasn't. Like we had our kid movies, but we were, there's also grown-ups. There's a lot of shit we couldn't do, and I was like, a lot of shit was taken away from us because people are like, what about little Timmy and Tammy? Fuck little Timmy and Tammy. Fuck them kids. I don't know shit. I am an adult.
Yeah.
It's like when cigarettes went to 21 and I was 20. I was
Oh yeah.
pissed. Remember, I couldn't buy
I remember
blunt,
that.
couldn't buy cigarettes, nothing. I was buying cigarettes and stuff for since I was like 15, 16 from the gas station. They're like, nah. I was like, mother. Mm.
Mhm.
It's like, it's like
Yeah.
it's like this giant change of like, I don't like that. It takes away from us. Like make movies for kids and stuff, but also don't. Not everything is for kids, and not every character is for kids. You know what I mean? Like make your little Star Wars kid shows, movies, whatever. I don't care, but don't take away from the adult fans as well, because when Star Wars first came out and it was introduced, there was kids and adults who loved the stories and stuff like that. So it's very frustrating to see them be like, no, 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 we're doing this for kids.
And
Can't
and
do that.
and I no, I agree. You can't childproof everything, and that's the thing.
Yeah.
It's that's the biz. But no, you're right. That's why I like the interviews. Like, some of this, Margot Robbie was saying that like thanks to Deadpool, Logan, thanks to Deadpool, people don't like that movie as much. I like the movie a lot actually. I went to the press screening of it. Not I went to the screening of it when I came back from visit to ASU during my senior year of college. The Birds of Prey movie is really fun because it is rated R. Chad Stahelski, who did the John Wick movies, came out to do like the action direction, which is really it shows too. It's a fun movie, because you get to see Harley Quinn stab people and stuff like that, and it's fun. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, like
Uh,
Harley Quinn is not child-friendly character.
no. Nor is
She
Joker.
went she went through mental and physical abuse from Joker, who had no love for her, by the way. And then she also murders a lot of people
A
in
lot of
very fucked up ways. Why? Because Joker murdered a lot of people in fucked up
people.
ways.
Hmm.
Like,
It,
I always talk about this. There's a scene, and they sort of did this, but they didn't. They didn't do it the same way as the comic book, but they did this for the movie. Where they're in a strip club and Joker is meeting an associate, and Harley Quinn is dancing, and
mm,
Joker sees him staring at Harley Quinn, and the Joker goes, "Would you like to, have a dance and in a private room with Harley, something like that?" And
oh
he
yeah, that
goes,
was in
"Really?"
the first
Yeah,
Suicide Squad. Yeah.
yeah. But the comic book was worse. The comic book was
Oh, I
way
believe.
like graphic. So in the comic book, he goes, okay. So they go into a back room, and then the guy starts coming out right after some time, and you see him stumbling, and his whole body was skinned. So from neck down, he had no skin because the Joker skinned him. So he didn't get shot. He got skinned, and then he died.
Fuck. Ugh. Ugh.
That
Ugh.
would have been great if they did that in the movie, but we can't do that.
If James Gunn, I mean, I know we talk about him a lot on the show. If James Gunn, real quick, if James Gunn was able to do rated R Suicide Squad, because he wanted to do that from the get go, if he can now incorporate that as the head of DC and do actually kind of like quote unquote mature stuff like that, or kind of like hard rated R, TVMA stuff, I feel like he would. I think he would. I feel like he would because he definitely likes to go in dark places with his movies, even non DC stuff like Slither or Super. Like he'll go dark if he can. So, but you're right. I mean that the previous DC universe. No, you're absolutely right.
Yeah,
And no, hell no. That's like not seeing that. But yeah, I would. I just it's you're right. You can't childproof anything. But it was cool. It was cool to hear that Margot Robbie she credits Ryan Reynolds for like in Deadpool for like giving her the
yeah,
chance to like make the movie that she wanted to make it. It didn't really do well, unfortunately, box office wise. Also, it was coming out during right when COVID hit too, so it was kind of like, oh shit, great. But no, you're right. It's yeah. And again, man, like I said, I'm looking. I think you should be out. I think you should be out here in July. I mean, Probably not. Actually, not now because it's be probably too hot for you. I'm like, come on, July, we see Deadpool 3, all three of us. But like,
God, no.
probably too hot. Probably too hot.
Right. Walking around with an umbrella and shit. It's
Yeah,
like,
we can see that. We can see that night. We can see that night. We can't go out during the day.
right. Day I
uh,
sleep like a vampire.
vampire.
I
But
melt just in a different way.
um, it's so hot. But all right, my boy. So yeah, I mean, we haven't done it in a while actually. I think because we've been doing a lot of movie lists the past couple of weeks. But you wanna
Yeah, because we say like our top
a
whatevers,
lot of
so
that
we
the past
haven't really
2 weeks.
needed. Yeah.
All right,
But
man.
I know
I
what
love
you're
you.
talking about, and it's the motherfucking one-on-ones.
Let's
Let me
get
explain it
it.
to the new people who decide to watch the most recent episode or just some random one in the middle. I don't know. Might be in the future to talk about. Anyways, our one-on-ones is at the end of the show. Each of us go around and we recommend one show and one movie, right? And it can be new or it can be old. And we don't expect you to watch it right away. We just hope that it catches your interest. You put it on your movies list, whatever, Netflix, whatever app you use, or maybe something on your phone in your notes. And eventually down the road, sometime in the near or distant future, you watch it. All right. You have the floor, the main man, Doug.
Thank you, my good sir. You know what? I'm gonna go with a movie that I told you about in this episode. I'm gonna go with Babylon. Damien Chazelle's Babylon. It's a movie that, again, this kid was really kind of like the darling of a lot of directors. I think he won. I think he's the youngest director to ever win an Oscar actually as directing because I think he made Whiplash when he was like our age, dude, which is hard to believe.
Wow.
Which is really kind of remarkable. And this and again, he got a lot of these writing jobs, kind of like do a script doctor, kind of rewrite some stuff like that. Jason Blum kind of discovered him in a way to have him write early, like a Blumhouse picture from like 11, 10 years ago. And then Jason Blum liked him so much that he did Whiplash. But Babylon really, it's his fourth movie, his follow up to First Man that I don't really care for, if you ask me. But again, it's set in like it's a very outrageous, really kind of like phonetic, like crazy movie about these two stars from 1920s Hollywood to 1930s. I want to say it's like the transition between silent films to quote unquote talkie movies when people start talking in movies the first time and stuff like that. And it's really this epic story about trying to make it in the industry, trying to become an actor, trying to like go through like sex, the drugs, the craziness of it all. Excuse me. And it's a wild 3 hours. It's a wild ride, but Margot Robbie is phenomenal. Brad Pitt is fantastic. I would put up there right next to La La Land as his best movie. Again, I love Whiplash too, but honestly, this movie is just, it's like, it has Wolf of Wall Street vibes to it. Maybe that's why I like it so much. But the direction from him, the writing from it, it's an original 3 hour love letter to Hollywood in ways, but also kind of saying its flaws too. Of like, even a movie that's set like 100 years ago, we're still seeing a lot of the same issues that we're seeing today in Hollywood. It's kind of like something kind of like the messages, the themes, whatever, staying relevant in Hollywood. And it's a really epic story that I think came out and like it tanked. It made no money and didn't get the best reviews. But I think it's gonna be a movie that people watch one day, be like, "What was I thinking? This movie's awesome." I think it's gonna I think it'll be a cult classic. Get its love one day, but it's a 3 hour epic movie. It's great. It's super funny at times. Great score, great soundtrack, phenomenal performances. So yeah, Babylon. Definitely watch Babylon if you can. And for show, oof. Oh man, what show? I already recommend a show that I'm watching right now, which is Reacher. Trying to think of a show that I'm not recommending, man. I keep track of my shows that I watch. I got one for you. It's called The Sex Lives of College Girls. It's show that David Gordon Green, who I like a lot, did Halloween, Eastbound and Down, stuff like that. He directed the few first pilots. It's Minnie Kaling show, who I love. Obviously she's uh oh my god, what's her name from The Office?
Which
I can't
one?
Mindy, oh my God, dude. Who I'm
Mindy Kaling and Jenna.
Oh, Kelly. She's Kelly. I had a
Yeah.
brain
Oh,
fart.
I was
Kelly.
like saying, like,
Kelly.
what do you mean? Like,
Kelly.
try and
She's
find the
Kelly.
other
She's
actor
Kelly.
from the show?
No.
Okay, yeah, Kelly.
Kelly Ford,
Yeah.
who she's hilarious. She's she's a great writer. Is her show about there's like fictional town, fictional college, whatever, and like East Coast, whatever. But like it has kind of like Judd Apatow, Freaks and Geeks kind of vibe to it in a way of kind of just like these girls trying to like navigate through college, kind of like quote unquote like post COVID in a way. And I'll tell you what, Chalamet's sister is in it, and she's a way better actor than he is. And that's saying something. And Renee Rapp, who's from Mean Girls, the two other girls too, I'm blanking on their names. They all have fantastic chemistry. See, that's a better Mean Girls show, quote unquote, than the Mean Girls musical. Way different stories, obviously, but it's kind of like them in college figuring out like sex lives and just kind of just like partying and school, whatever. So it's a very quick 25-minute episodes. It's a comedy. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's on HBO. It's on Max and HBO. Worth the watch. So yeah, my movie of the week is At Babylon, and my show of the week is The Sex Lives of College Girls. Floor is yours, my friend.
All right. I'm gonna start with the show because I'm also gonna be talking about the show I mentioned today, which is Percy Jackson. I think it's a great show. It's a few episodes still in. I think the young actors are fantastic, are doing phenomenal. I think that the cast and crew and director all were all able to find a way to get around Disney without them, lessening it from the
Yeah,
story and the characters. So I really like it. It's interesting. A lot of big names, and I feel I don't want to say big names, but a lot of known people are in it as well. Has new blood. So definitely watch it. I fucking hate Disney, but the show is great. And for my movie. It's gonna be Begin Again. That is currently on Amazon. I don't know about anything else, but it's on Freevee with ads. So if you're gonna watch it on Amazon, you gotta watch it with ads. But it is
it's on my list
a movie.
forever. It's been on my list forever, dude.
You should watch it. It's actually really
Okay,
good.
I will.
It is Mark Ruffalo plays this record exec who got let go from the company, and he's just trying to make it around when he's at a bar drinking, and he hears this young woman, uh a young singer who played by Keira Knightley, who he sees her, he hears her, and we should make an album together. And she's like, what? He's like, yeah, we should make an album together. So eventually she agrees, and they talk, and he's like, we could use the city as a sound. So I believe it's New York. Yeah, most likely New York. And so he gets a band together, and she writes her songs, and and they become great friends, and they start recording around the city, different locations, different things for the album. Yeah. And so there's a lot of big names in it, like Adam Levine, who plays her, who plays a singer that was dating Keira Knightley's character, who they broke up. So and I believe CeeLo Green is in there. But yeah, it's a
CeeLo
great
Green.
movie. Huh?
Fucking, he's the most randomest celebrity. Like, good for him though.
He's so weird and random, dude. But it's
Yeah,
CeeLo, so yeah. But he's in it,
good for
and yeah,
CeeLo.
it's a good movie. I highly recommend it. It's really good. I enjoyed it the first time I watch it. I need to watch it again. It's been years. But definitely do give it a recommendation. All right, Doug, go ahead and plug yourself.
All right, my friend, I appreciate you. As always, guys, you can find me on my personal page on Instagram is at the Young Jones. I'm also on Twitter, or sorry, X, Twitter, whatever, at Capri underscore Sun, SON. Also find our show's socials on Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok is the same, all at Midway Avenue Productions, and we'll see you next time, my guys.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitch at the OG Cuban Rican, and of course on our link tree, which is on our Instagram, our podcast Instagram. You can find Moses and Nick's links there. If you guys do want to definitely check them out. Anyways, time to wrap this up, close it out. Thank you guys for joining us on this journey, or on this verbal journey through our thoughts, opinions, mad ramblings, and just, crazy ideas or opinions. And, it's so great that you returned. And for the new people who might be jumping in the middle, our, brand new episode, thank you for being here. We hope that you guys return just like the other listeners. Please do share us with other people. We do love having this community grow bigger and bigger for people who, like us, have a passion for movies and TVs and everything entertainment. And, you guys, creating a safe space where you guys, just like us, can ramble about your opinions and just things that pop into your head, whether people agree or not, whether you agree with us. We'd love for you guys to come back. Anyways, thank you so much. Have a good morning, afternoon, and night. We love y'all. Stay safe. Deuces.